Bob.
Good morning to you. I'm getting ready to leave the house. I'll be on the road. That's why you're going to see my picture instead of my video this morning. Heading over to a team member's house, and I'm going to make sure that her latest transaction was correctly put into Sky Slope. You know how that goes.
Yes, it is lots of fun.
Hey, if it's cool, I'm going to do a little selfish advertising today, or promotion. I was on the call with a buyer yesterday, and she contacted me. I don't know where she found me, and that's why I was a little suspicious. I said, "Are you a bot?" Or messaging. She goes, "What's that?" I said, "Okay, cool. You're a human." I said, "Call." So after a couple of attempts of leaving messages and phone tag, whatever, she finally called me. Her name's Auburn. She's in Wisconsin, and she's an investor. Her and her husband, who owns a contracting company, and they just flip. They don't buy and hold right now. They'll get to that after they're debt free. She says, but they're fairly well funded. I don't know what that means. Maybe they have $500,000 or something. I don't know yet. But I pointed her towards Mexican Town because there's a couple of wholesale deals there that we can pick up. And I said, if you make me your boy here in Wisconsin or Michigan, I said, I'll get this done. I'll keep you busy. She goes, "You're the guy." So I have to vet her, but it's kind of fun how, that was the most productive moment of my day yesterday, is the realization that possibly I picked up a, 8 times or 10 times a year investor. Nothing wrong with a flip, right?
Right. That's right. I had a hard time getting on today.
That's awesome, Bob. I'm moving back and forth, so excuse my delayed response.
It's me I could not get on. I don't know what it is. Sometimes I cannot log on with my phone. It blocks me.
Oh, you're in
So
Tony's kitchen. You're in
I
Tony's
had
kitchen
to,
this morning.
yes, I had to go on Tony's because I couldn't get in on mine. So it's me. How is everybody? Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, me.
I was embarrassed for you guys to see my face. I look literally like a raccoon. I am so sunburned everywhere. Oh my God. But
You're out there with the kids in the sun, aren't you? Good for you.
so don't let us stop you. I'm curious to hear more about that conversation. Again, I got in on the tail end trying to get in, but I heard some good positive stuff. So you
Oh,
want to
yeah.
repeat it?
Sure. I mean, it's just a day in the life of us EXP realtors, right? Talking and chewing, and this is one of the immediate benefits of being with EXP. Perfect example applied. On the phone, talking with somebody, and she called me because I'm starting to go this, hey, we're in all 50 states, this kind of international type of a flavor, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so this text came through. I thought it was a robot. I did. I tested it. I said, "Are you a bot or are you warm blooded?" "What does that mean?" "Okay, you're warm blooded. Okay, you're So we finally got together. Her name's Auburn, and Auburn and her husband live in Wisconsin. Auburn is from West Bloomfield, and she's an investor, and she's looking to invest some properties, to buy some properties in Michigan. Well, I told her, I've got a young agent in real estate school, and he's busy wholesaling houses, but I'm getting him licensed up. He's going to join my team and drag 4 more with him.
Mm-hmm.
And she liked that. She goes, "Well, that's good. Are these properties going to be listed?" I said, "No, you get them first. Grab them off market. And of course, we'll get in the middle of it, but because I need a professional broker to make sure the
Mm-hmm.
paperwork's correct. But I said, then do your rehab. We'll line it up. You just go from one to another. She loves it. So I was just saying that was probably the most productive 10 minutes of yesterday. Maybe that's a good question for the panel today. What is your most productive 10 minutes from yesterday? And if we can isolate from everybody that, or get us all thinking, and we'll roll our eyes back in our brains and find that 10 minutes and get back in that mindset each day from the day before. What's your most productive yesterday? You know, I picked up the phone or the phone rang and the sellers said they're ready to list now, or whatever it was. And get us into that 10-minute, the most 10-minute victory moments of the day before. That might be
Oh,
something.
that is a good thing. Yesterday, I'm kind of getting back in the swing of things, but I did my most positive 10 minutes was the last 10 minutes of my coaching class yesterday. And I came to the realization that I probably have to maybe cut down on one of my VAs because she asked me, is it equating to enough money? And I think I've given that VA probably 9 months. And I think I might have to just have her do one specific thing and cut her back down because the money, I just realized, hiring someone and the money has to equate. And I couldn't answer her honestly. And that was a revelation to me. And I'm like, wait a minute, I might be overspending where I don't need to and maybe use that money, for something else. So that was my most positive 10 minutes yesterday,
Wow.
really coming to that realization.
Yeah, the self-realization of your own business plan. That's smart, just
Yes.
perspective. I mean, like you're so close in there to the forest. Sometimes we forget to see the trees, and I guess we all should have that ability or remember that ability. Let's step outside of our box. Let's get up in the air about 20 feet and look down and see how my business is running. That was smart of you to realize that. Stay objective.
Mhm. Yes, yes, yes. And if any, also, I have a lot of leads, or they came in from one of my leads. Does anyone want to take on maybe, I don't know, take on little chunks at a time? Because I know sometimes when you're getting leads from people, you don't actually follow up. Everyone says they want to do it, but then they don't. So if anyone's interested in maybe taking like 20 leads and see what happens, these are people it's impossible for me to call. My lead generation really blew up and I just can't get to all of them. And they're all they came from Beverly Hills and Southfield. So let me know if you want one, because then
Shoot,
I might have to have her call. Ah,
shoot. I got a
so
prospective a buyer this afternoon, but tomorrow's wide open for me. Maybe we should talk after our call.
okay, that's fine.
Thank
Is
you.
everyone still good for maybe doing some scripting next week? Did we did we agree on that from yesterday?
I think we were gonna, we were gonna circle back tomorrow and make sure that we all have scripts and identify. They don't all have to be the same script, but
Okay.
identify what scripts we're going to internalize. And these scripts are going to be for rev share growth, agent attraction. First script in it. I think we should start at square one. Hi, this is Kendra Pack. I'm with EXP, and we'll and just go down the script. Maybe we'll at the end of the call next week we'll role play a little bit, and we'll make it easy. But then probably within 2-3 weeks we'll have some contest objections. Here's an
Hmm.
objection and there's an objection. How do we overcome it? And the rest of the panel we're a panel today. The rest of the panel can hear and learn. So I think
Right.
that's great. Why don't we assign the first, along with the scripts, we'll make the assignment of who's going to, be the first person, what do you call the DJ that does prospecting? A PJ? I don't know. But the first person to speak out there, Kendra, that might be you, or a Theo might do it. Man, I like that young man. He's a powerhouse, you guys. Theo, he's got 4 things coming at you. Oh, you want action? Here you go. I love
Yes.
him, man. He's a good guy.
I told you I rusty on mine, but I'll be happy to go because I would love to do that. So yeah, I go, what is it called? Tell, show, and do. But did
Yeah.
anyone else have a good 10 minutes yesterday before we go on? I have a quandary I'm trying to get through and I want to talk to you guys about it. I mean, it's about a listing. So want some feedback and just share how my day goes. So anyone else got 10 minutes? A 10-minute day yesterday?
I
Well,
do.
okay, go ahead.
Oh no, you go ahead and then I'll go after you.
No, go ahead. I'll wait.
Are you sure?
Absolutely.
Okay. I had a productive 10 minutes. I had reached out to um Lombardi and because I have a client that's looking for houses in the Ypsilanti area. So I spoke with the lady in charge over there, and she like broke everything down as far as like, because I wanted to just present to my client like another option because she does have a pretty decent pre-approval on maybe doing a new build. And the lady, broke everything down as far as like what you would need for the deposit on the lot and the time that it would take to get the house built and just the entire process. So I thought that was pretty productive. And then she sent me um, a printout of like all the other areas where they have, different sites where they're building houses. So I just liked it because I felt like I have another client too who's looking kind of more on the east side. And, I was able to present it to the lady looking in Ypsilanti and the lady that's looking on the east side. Neither one of them were like that interested in it just because the amount of time that it's going to take to get the house built. And they both feel like, oh, well, I don't want to pay for something that I'm not living in. But it's just good information for a potential buyer who might be open to the possibility. And the way that the lady explained the process, it was really very informative. So that was, in my opinion, my most productive 10 minutes. And then I did a couple of videos for my office staff on like sky slope and another video, I forgot what it was, for them just to like help with some of the stuff that I've got going on.
Do you have that? What timetable did they give you for that?
Well, she said that what we would do is we would come in and we would fill out a reservation, like a lot reservation form. And then from there, after we filled that out, we would then, because I took detailed notes on it, a registration agreement. And then from there, we have 2 weeks to change our mind. That's $500 for the reservation. And then they had one premium lot left, which was nice. And then she said like the base price was $228. The home site premium was like $15K. So it would have been starting at like $245, which for a brand new house is pretty good. So, and then she said that you'd have to, go through the financing and all that. And so she was saying that it would take at least a year to get the house built, but it'd probably be longer than that because I know there's a subdivision not too far from where I'm at where they've got some lots that they're about to put up. I think there's like 8. And they were saying that, it's hard to kind of give a timeline because of the cost of materials and wood, and they haven't been able to like get a firm commitment on, you know, the amount of the cost of the wood or whatever. So it probably would be a little bit more than a year, but just to, you know, have that, you know, it's coming eventually.
Okay, that's good. I A good suggestion, if you know where they haven't broke ground but they're going to be building, look at some vacant lands around there. And try building yourself or either market them for sale because you know that area is going to go up wherever they said that the future ones are going to be.
Yeah.
Then you could probably get some land listings
Yeah, that's a really good
with
idea.
with the information that you already have. Like the build outs are going to be about 350 at the end of the day, probably with the upgrades and all that. If you know that area, if you could find some vacant land, you could see if you can build or market it for sale, and tell them, hey, this can be a future house. I see that all the time on the MLS. It's just a sketch of what's the possibilities, and you can use the other comps from Lombardi.
Right, exactly.
Okay, anybody? Helen wanted to go, or was that Chandra?
Okay, that was great. Congratulations, Adrian, excuse me.
Yes.
I
Thank
guess
you.
my 10 minutes was broken. You're welcome. My 10 minutes was broken up into increments, but it was a rare day that I actually got everything on my task list done. And it was a very productive day. So I'm going to say my 10 minutes just checking my checklist and just, remembering to look, to stay on pace with that. It was just a good day. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, that's a huge win too. Getting everything done on your task list is nothing like that feeling because it raises your elevation, your vibrations when you do that. Because today it gives you that motivation to do it again. So
Yes, it does. And I am incredibly on fire. It's just like, yes, you just got it's like you get a new win or a fresh win to kind of get up and get moving. So it was awesome.
yes. Well, also I'll see if this lady's blown me off for a year and a half. She just texts me and is like ready to sign up. That goes to show you, because I'd be really cussing her out in a text message, but the text message would be so nice. But when I say have a good day, it's like, I can't stand you. Would you pick up the phone? But I've been nice to her and she's ready to enroll finally. I've been after her for since 2017. And she finally said, I'm ready to onboard anytime at 2. So I said 2 is great. So that just came over. That's pretty cool. Because I send out texts.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so
Congratulations.
you're talking about rev share. You're talking about an agent, on your.
Yes.
That's great.
And that goes to show you, you just have to just stay on them. So I used to get offended when, I send out all these texts. I have an Android, the best phone in the world.
Absolutely. Yes.
And
That's just because you know where all the buttons are on the phone. You just know
that's
that
right.
phone.
That is it. And what I do, like maybe once a month, you're able to categorize in your phone. And so I have like prospects, the top 50 in the top 50 out of state. And I just sit down for 10 minutes and send out a text to all of them. And I've been doing that, and they never respond, but I know that they get it because it says like loved or like or something like that on there. But I just stay consistent. And like I said, I used to get my feelings hurt because I'm like, they're not even responding. But when they decide, because it's always them, when they decide that it's right for them, it's it's easy, and the first thing they always talk about is how consistent I am. And I think my follow up it needs to be improved drastically, but that is another way that you can use your phone. I don't know if it's like that with the iPhone, but if you just categorize them, I have some for credit, people I've talked to for credit, and I just send them like maybe on a monthly basis just some update. So you might want to consider that. Even for your buyers and sellers, you should do that. That capability is there. And you can do a you can set a scheduled text out. So if someone says they want to, get started with in our credit or whatever on next Friday, I just jotted in the text right while I'm on the phone with them, or they want to buy in 6 months, and I put that in a text and then say whatever I was going to say, like, hey, it's 6 months, just checking in. Are you ready to get started? I have time available this weekend to show you houses, and then I'll put it out for that next week. And so it's already there. And that's a reminder for me because once the text goes through, that's could be a way for me to either call them or either send them a reminder text after that or put them in a database. So that's a little tip. Anybody else had a good 10-minute task or win yesterday? No. Okay, so
Well, if you can't,
Uh,
if you didn't have a touchdown, did anyone have a punt or anyone get on base yesterday? Anybody?
I do have a win. I am actually I received my commercial designations um, a couple weeks ago.
congratulations.
Thank you.
Whoa. Yes.
Thank you. And I am working with a commercial client as we speak. So he's looking to
Wow.
purchase something that upwards of what, up to 900,000. So yeah, that's exciting.
Where at?
He's pretty open. It could be Redford, West Side Detroit. Yeah, so he's looking to he's looking for like a multi-purpose building, over 5,000 square feet, preferably. But yeah, he's pretty open to the location. So
I might have a building coming up that's in the downtown area. I'll let you know.
okay,
She was trying to sell it as a bundle, but I'm trying to get her to separate them. And if I can get them to separate, I do have a building that's 15,000 square feet that may be about 9,900.
okay,
I'll let you know
okay.
how that works out.
All right, sounds good.
So, anybody else
Also,
want to go?
I can help you with those leads. So whatever you want to
Oh,
pass to me, that's fine.
okay. Well, call me afterwards and I can just email you the list.
Okay.
And they have the names and numbers and everything. It was way overwhelming. It was like 900 leads.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So
Okay.
I was taken back, and I did not even know. The problem was I didn't even know that it was. I kept hearing my phone beep, but I didn't know where the beep was coming from. And maybe last week, I was like, what is this ad? Because one of the, I wound up looking at my Facebook messages, and I was like, so the lady was rude, like, oh, you didn't call back or something like that. And I was like, what is she talking about? And I clicked on it and I almost fell out my chair. And I was like, oh my God, I burn these leads. But they will be
Wow.
good telemarketer calls. And we can use that list if you want to
Yeah.
actually do some lead generation with that.
Hmm.
If you guys want to use that, I'll be happy to do that. It's great practice. Even if they say
Yeah,
no, it's a way for you to strengthen your scripts.
Great idea.
absolutely. What is your
That's a
number, Kendra?
248 470 8944.
Okay.
So we can use that because I don't, at this point, because they were like a week old, and you can just say, hey, I'm calling from Kendra Pack's office, or you can just, however you want to do it. You were looking in the Beverly Hills area. Are you still, in the market? And you can actually go ahead and take it. So we can work on that and use those for numbers and stuff. So we don't have to pay for anything.
Man, we're
Absolutely.
sitting in the middle of a panel of potential cappers here with all of this in the last 5 minutes. My mind is blown. I'm going, that's going to be a capper. Oh, she's going to be capper. This is great stuff, you guys.
Yeah, I was amazed. I mean, it, it seems like this company is giving. My whole point was to start generating leads to help out everybody, to be honest. So it's cost me a lot of money, but I think it'd be worth it if we actually use it. And I could go into any area pretty much. So let me know, and we can use that for next week for our script training if you guys want to do that. I have a listing. It's in Bloomfield Hills, and I don't know if I had talked to you about it. I wanted to buy this property as a flip, but obviously they know that the house has. I'm gonna try to pull it up. Oh, by the way, here's the leads so you can see. I was tripping. You see all these leads? They just go on for days and days. And I have an ebook that's out. These are in Detroit, but these were $600,000. This was a $600,000 house. So I know these are people in the market for high end in Detroit, and then these are in Beverly Hills. I couldn't believe it. But I wanted to share this. I don't know how to pull it up. Let's see if I can pull it up. How do I do that? Here we go.
Kendra, you're Superwoman. You can call all those leads.
I'll try. I Now I will, just to get it out the way and just do a power hour, and that's
Yeah.
been my best. I had to stop being harsh on myself and give myself grace. That's what my uh I've been working on forgiving myself a lot more, because I think I am Superwoman and I don't complete
Wow,
everything.
that's another. Kendra, every time I talk to you, I feel like I'm going to church with real estate church. Because that is so amazing. That's awesome. If we forgive ourselves, we learn how to just do that. Give yourself a break, man. Be our own best friend for a hot minute, and let's just settle down, take a breath, and let's just look at the opportunities at hand. Let's analyze. You're a great analyst. You think it through. I'm sure you all agree with me describing Kendra's talents of analyzing and step by step, and let's take the next, push the button, and here's the list, and there we go. This is a great. You do carry many blessings, Kendra. One of the benefits I receive from you being your friend is the magnetism of staying organized. This is great. And I don't know if you truly are in your soul or not, but that's the way you come across. So thank you.
Well, thank you. So, thank you. I appreciate that. I really do. Um, so this house is in Bloomfield Hills, and it sits on about an acre and a half. And the PRD, which we need to go through, I mean, the RPR is a great analysis for doing comps. And so this one came back that the current estimated value is 846. And then when I put the comps in, it came out to about 771. Now the lady owes 380. And I think actually she has to do a short sale for this because the house is really dilapidated. The lady is 98 years old. And I wanted to do this for a flip, but it's probably going to be about, I estimate about $200,000 in in repairs. So I wanted you guys to look at this with me and see what your opinions were. It's a 4 bedroom, it's 3,800 square feet. Although she has another part that's a whole inside pool that I don't think is included in this 3,800 square feet. And you know, pools, that can be a make or break deal. A lot of people that love pools, they're the only ones that love pools. They're not, that's not common. But I put the comps together. This is I call it a compound. This is how it looks. And it's coming in at 846. And the nearest comps I did within a half a mile radius came back, and there was a couple that sold for 1 million. I'm trying to get to the comps. Where are the comps? Oh, where are you, comps? Okay. So the best comp was like at Lake Crest, only because it was a quad it's a walkout too. Highwood was, but they're all superior in the quality, the age, and the maintenance of it. So last night I did um well, I'll go through this and then show you how I broke it out to her. So in her mind, obviously she's in Beverly Hills. They are thinking, "Oh, my house is worth 800,000." And so when I came in and was like, "I don't even know if I would pay 3." Because if you back out the numbers, and I explained to her, I said, "Well, as an investor, you have two choices. You can fix the house up." And so she wanted to put lipstick on a pig. She doesn't have a lot of money, and she said she wanted to redo the floors because all the floors need to be done. And I said, well, if you do the kitchen floor, then you might as well do the laundry room floor and the foyer because they all kind of go together. And then the foyer, you're going to have to break up the front to get a smooth thing, to get a smooth, finish all leveled. And I said, but when you do that, then you might as well paint. And if you paint, it's, when you take off one thing when you're doing new construction, it leads to so many other things. So if you're going to do a floor, it's going to get messed up. If you're going to put a new floor down, you might as well paint the kitchen. So if you're going to paint the kitchen, you might as well paint the laundry room. And if the laundry room is attached to the foyer, then you might as well paint that. So then you might as well paint the whole thing. And her house is like 3,800 square feet. And I know my painter charges me like 225 per square foot to paint inside. I already got an estimate for the outside, which was going to cost about $12,000. So I know the inside is going to be about the same. But then I think she has mold in her house. So I told her, I said, well, that has to be remediated. And I don't really know the price. And that's why I said I was going to call Adrian to see if she would go out and look and give me a price for remediation of the mold. And I said, if that is the case, then that has to be done. Then all the bathrooms need to be updated. Then you have to put carpet in. Then I mean, there were so many things. And she just thought she had to put some cheap towel on the floor. And I was like, no, not if you want to try to get the same kind of value for the money that you are going to need to get 750 and 800 or something like that. And plus you're on a main road. So that takes away. And then I said, we got to replace all the door windows. And I was just going through everything with her. And so she asked me to price it out, which I have a construction sheet And I'll show you that. So my question to you guys is, how would you have an approach a effed up house, but it's in a beautiful neighborhood, perfect for an investor, but the person wants to squeeze out as much as they want. They're thinking more like she wants to walk away with 500,000 in order. And I said that won't work. And I said, even if we put this on the market, I said, first of all, it'd be an insult to you if we just even if we just cleaned it out and put it on the market, it'd be an insult to your neighborhood, to you, because everybody will see the quality of your living standards. And it's probably best, if you're not going to do the work, to sell it to a private investor and let them do it and just move out diplomatically. But she wants a choice to do that. So how would you approach pricing a house out when you know definitely everything in there needs to be touched and they want to maximize the top dollar? And do you think my numbers are too high? Because I said, well, I said 771, and that's what after doing all the work. But if she wants to do it, do you think I should put it on the market for like, I don't even think it would go for like 350, to be honest, because no one that can afford a $800,000 house really wants to go in and do work. If they want to do an $800,000 house, they probably will go new construction.
And they probably feel like with that kind of money they're spending, it's got to be move-in ready. I mean, I think the way you presented it to her was on point, because it is going to be embarrassing to her neighbors and her, because they're going to be like, oh, wow, like I didn't know it was that bad. And it sounds like it needs extensive work. So I think showing her the repair estimate, like, okay, this is how much it's going to be for this. This is how much it's going to be for that. And then, of course, giving her the caveat emptor that these are just ballpark numbers, hun. Things could change. There could be, some unforeseen, something that happens. So it could be more. I think once you show her that, then she probably would, reality after maybe a day or two would set in, and she would realize that you're right.
Yes. And if you guys have time to stick around, you can see what the house actually looks like, because I did
Well,
have
I was going to ask you if you had any pictures of the house, because I'm very curious to see what the condition is, because it sounds like it's pretty bad.
It is. And this would just be the outside of the house. I'm gonna show you that because I had the painter go by. Hold on.
What makes you think she has mold in her house? Does it smell like wet in her house, like in the basement, or?
Yes, it smells to me like mold, and you got to understand there's a huge pool right there, and that hasn't been maintained.
Is it an
And so
indoor pool
it's an
or?
indoor pool.
Oh God.
And so I'm debating whether even to keep the pool, which means that could be money too. So hold on, let me see if I can stop the share.
Did it smell like the pool was like leaking in the house or anything?
See, that I don't know. I'm not a pool expert, so I couldn't tell you. But can you guys see this?
Yes.
Okay, so this was the proposal. And then this is the video of him. I have him usually videotape everything. So this is how it went. And it's a big house. I want the project. Okay, so here, can you hear?
Yes.
Power washing and stain. Front door, dull, stain. Screen door, done. This house definitely gonna need power washing, a whole lot of it. Right here. To remove everything that's loose. To remove the algae around the gutter. Okay. This look like it's the worst side right here. It's a lot of delamination from this T111. They stopped making these boards right here, except for replacement, because of the very fact that it peels like this after years, especially after moisture get caught up in it. Okay, these windows definitely gonna need some scraping and a lot of caulking.
You can.
All right, the roof is walkable, but still gonna need some safety harnesses to hit this chimney and that chimney. This far side wall, we got a lot of delaminations because this is more than peeling paint. Like I said, that's gonna have to be stripped off this T111 boards. But we'll make it look nice. Got a bird hole right there, or a squirrel hole. Right there. All right, the rear side, you could count the length of it right there. You got one board, 8 foot, 16, 24. This is definitely about a 32 foot high up to the peak. Some of these boards are popping up, so they're gonna have to be back secured down. Like right there, you can see, and there, and there. The boards are still good, but like I said, it just need to be tacked down. Deck. Some of these boards is gonna need to be replaced right here. Floorboards look pretty good, just a lot of peel and paint. This is paint on the deck, not stain. So paint is gonna have to go back over it, not stain, because where the paint will not peel up at, stain cannot penetrate the boards.
Now you see this right here? All of this is a pool inside this whole back area.
This is the rear. We got mold in this recess area here, all up on the ceiling and in this area. Probably due to lack of sunlight and moisture. Yeah, easily be remediated. Yep. This is all over the place. That could be filled in. These boards don't have to come down. Same thing. Yep. Okay, we have some rotted wood.
I don't want to make you bored, but you get the point.
It's not
Upset
boring.
about bots and
It
competitors
was
clicking
really
on your ad.
good. I think his
Huh?
assess. I
This is
said
the
it wasn't
tightest mine
boring
has
at all.
ever
I think
been.
his assessments were really good.
Yeah, he's good at what he does. Um,
I mean, just
hold
looking
on.
at the outside, it looks like there's definitely a lot to be concerned about as far as just the exterior work alone. And I mean, the stuff you were talking about on the inside, it sounds like there's no way she's going to get what she wants out of it.
Exactly. Anybody
Does
else
she seem
agree?
does she seem receptive to your suggestions and your plan of action, your aggressive plan of action? Does she seem receptive, or does she seem kind of like on the fence about it?
She doesn't think there's much wrong with her house. She said out of all that, what she wants to do is put a new kitchen floor in.
But does she understand like what a house for like 800, 500, what those houses look like now in the market? Because I
Yes.
mean, probably when she bought her house, things were different when she purchased her house than what they are now. So
I gave her
Yep,
I
exactly.
gave it to her. I gave
Yep.
it to her, and I offered to take her to an open house what to show her what the quality is so she could see the difference herself. But she's relying on, oh, I know that house because she's lived there for like 80, 50 years or so. She knows those neighborhoods, and she thinks her house is compatible to the house that's, around the corner that sold for 850. But the inside looks crisp and pristine. And she's not getting it. And she doesn't want to move. She's 98 years old. She's a doctor's wife. She and the next move for her and her daughter is frustrated is to move she has to move out of state, and she doesn't want to do that. And what
well,
happens when that happens, and people usually get really sick. So I know this because I've been doing it for a long time. And so I told her that she bought a will trust power of attorney, because I said, do you even have her affairs in order through this whole transition? Because, older people don't do well with drastic moves like that.
well, she probably wouldn't do well because it's against her will and she doesn't want to lose her independence. So it would probably be all bad, for her.
Thanks.
I mean, yeah, because
Yes.
so I mean, I get it. I feel like it, I mean, but I understand her daughter's concerns too. Like, this is too much house for you. And obviously her daughter is in reality and knows that the house needs extensive work.
Exactly. And she's been here, she has a whole family, and she's been here since like December. Actually, before that, but in December, they finally had the conversation. She's actually been here since August, and she's like, I don't even know where to start. Like, she won't let me throw stuff out. So it's a hoarder house too.
Oh God.
It looks just as bad in the inside as the outside looks.
It's getting worse and worse by the moment. This story
Yeah.
is.
And she was like, well, we just got to throw a couple things away. I was like, honey, I smell mold. Your mother's in here on a oxygen tank, and I could probably tell you that the mold is contributing to this.
Well, it's definitely contributing to it if she's lived there for 50 years and there's
Yes.
mold outside of the house and there's a pool in there. So, and it's not being maintained. Does it have like the green water in there?
Yes.
Okay, so I mean, it's just horrible for her mother to even be still in that situation. I mean, come on now.
Well, I told her, listen, I didn't even want to stay in the house. I ran through it, and then we talked outside. I said, if nothing else, you need to get your mother out of this house. Put her in a
Yes,
hotel,
immediately.
go rent something else until you figure it out. And the mother has all her faculties, and she's like, no, I'm fine. And so her hands are tied. But if I called social services, that lady will be out of that house.
Well, it's not
Hell,
fit for her to live
yeah,
there.
yeah, exactly. Grandma need to go on a vacation. So that's what we had to do with our granny. We same situation, left the house. She couldn't take care of it no more. So yeah, so basically we got together and said, okay, Granny, let's go to Aunt Pookie house for the weekend. That weekend lasted, 6 years.
Oh my
But
God.
yeah, but I mean, I love it. I love it. That's I what you love got it. to do. I mean, if Granny got to get out of there, Granny got to get out of there. I mean, agree. Sometimes you got to just take the emotion out of it, especially when trying to sell it. So, of course, I talk to a lot of people who want to sell their houses, and in this market, people get top dollar for their houses. So
Right.
when I go on my listed presentation, I tell them, this is as is. I give them three prices. This is as is, the low end. This is medium range, where they basically moving in, and this is top dollar. Now, if you want top dollar for your house, I'm showing them the MLS. I'll print it. Well, in that case, you have to print it out and print out 6 houses. You want $800,000 for a house, short 7 houses, 8 houses, 10 of them that's on the market for 800 and that's sold for 800. And say, do your house look like this? Of these. If it don't, it just doesn't make. You got to take as far as the emotion, take the emotion out of it and do the math. What's the ROI? What's the return on the value? How much are you all in? How much is all in? And then for you to sell and then get your money out of it. And how much you look if that what you're expecting out of it. And if the numbers don't work, you just can't get to. You have to pass on the deal.
Yep.
You got to run the
Well,
numbers. If
that's
it's two
exactly
hundred
what I
thousand,
did.
yeah,
Yep.
if it's 200,000 all in, you're 200 in renovation. How much she wants to sell it for?
Well, so we talked about short sales,
Yeah.
and she doesn't want to mess up her credit. And I said, well, what do you think you're going to be, what things would you be wanting to buy at 98? Are you thinking about buying a car? I mean, what are you going to be buying? And the daughter is looking at me like she's in La La Land. Like she's like, "Oh no, I could never do that." But I showed her that option. I gave her the low end, the medium price, even if she just cleaned it out and did an interior paint. I mean, yeah, and paint the whole house. And that's really it, because if you do anything else, you have to do everything. Do you get what I'm saying? You can't just put a new floor down, because it's like putting the lipstick on a pig. So I said, you could do that. I gave her a price for that. I said, but you're still looking at an investor. You're not looking at a homeowner. Homeowners right now aren't thinking about doing anything to a house when they come in, or they're looking for a deal. So it has to be room for a deal. And I told her, I even showed her how an investor will look at it at only making 25%. So if it was in pristine condition at 771, and it took, and then you minus your, I gave her the formula, minus your 25% profit, that nets her about five something. And then it needs $222,000 worth of work. That leaves like 689. I mean, 289. It was something like that. So I gave her all of those. And I gave her the medium price, but there really isn't a medium price because the house is freaking raggedy. It's not like, oh, they got an old bathroom. I mean, the bathroom floors came up because of some plumbing issues. So there's so many other unknowns that I put in about $25,000 for miscellaneous, because I couldn't stay in the house long enough, because I felt like I felt the mold. I was like, I can't stay here. We can talk outside. So I didn't go through every single thing. I said, could you please just open up all those windows? And the windows are dilapidated. So you're talking 30 grand just in windows. So I just want to, we're going to do a chronicle on this and see which way she goes. And then, of course, there are probably going to be some other people that's going to sugarcoat it, or she thinks she can do the work herself. And we'll see how that works.
Yeah, you got to watch realtors like that because my method is when I say if I can't make sense of the deal, I don't do the deal. I don't just list anything. Because normally I use
Right.
Silverline Title. I use Silverline Title, then I click net to sale.
Mm-hmm.
And I put what they want in there. I put my fees in it, and I hit the enter button. And for my customer to get my seller to get this, I have to list it for this much, and me get my
Mm-hmm.
fees out of it. And if I can't see that, I don't do the deal. And then of
Right.
course you talk to other agents. Why would you do that? Just give them what they want. Just put the sign in the yard, and then if it don't sell, I say, well, what if it just sits there for 6, 7 months? That makes you look
Exactly.
bad. He said, well, no, you
Exactly.
can get your leads. I said, but that ain't helping the client. That's helping you.
Exactly. Right.
Why would I do that? Why would I put a sign in the yard for a listing I know is not going to, that is going to be a needle in a haystack to sell it at that price? Just
Right.
to have your sign in the yard so you can get leads out of it. That's not right. That's selfish. That's not doing your fiduciary duties as an agent. I don't think that's a nice debate that I had with with an agent that I'm trying to get over here.
Right.
trying, trying to attract. I don't say recruit. I do not recruit. I plant mustard seeds because, like you said, agents do not. They don't change brokers. Something has to happen. You can't recruit an agent, especially a top producing agent. Something has to happen, and that's why you plant that mustard seed. You just tap it. Hey, 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 just like you do.
Right.
How's everything? And, that's what I'm doing because I was like in your boat when I first started, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna call everybody on the MLS on my MLS, and I'm calling everybody, and I probably went through about 200 of them. And I realized, you know what, this ain't working. So I need to start doing the paper napkin presentation. That's what I need to master with Gene Frederick. That's what I need to get down. It's like
Right.
have some lunch and then draw those numbers out. What's this number? What are these three numbers? I'm gonna get it
Right.
down in a minute. I just need to practice it some more.
Right. Okay. Well, that's some food for thought. I'll let you know how it works. And I always keep in mind I'm coming from contribution. So I disclosed everything, to her. And because she was referred from a good friend of mine. So I'm giving her the best advice, but also making sure that it's the best advice for the mother. And I told her I would list it for what I think it would if it's as is, and if we needed to, because I don't think we can even get, because she did not want to have her credit ruined. So I said, well, maybe we could find out what your payoff is. We could at least list it for what you would net with paying out everything as is to an investor. But I don't think that you're going to get that price. So then we do need to look at doing maybe a possible short sale for you.
Do Granny even check her credit? How she knows her credit going?
Surprises me because
She
she's
got she got she
98.
got credit card. How is she checking her credit?
I have no idea. It's the craziest thing, but and she thought that she couldn't sell her house until she paid it off. So it
Wow.
was eye opening to her to even know that, oh, we find a buy, you don't have to pay your house off. The new buyer will pay the house off. She had no clue that that was possible. So you just never know who you're talking to. In her mind, she thought the house had to be free and clear before she could list it. So she's thinking she has to pay this $300,000 off.
She had to flat out own it
Yes, she
to
doesn't feel
sell
that
it.
she owns it and to sell it.
To flat out.
So
Yeah,
sorry for keeping you.
suggest you're fine. Just like I say, suggest a vacation.
Well,
Say, hey, you ever
I
thought
told
about
her
putting
that.
Granny on vacation and the vacation lasts like, a year or 2 or 3, 4.
Exactly. Exactly. I told her
That
that.
might be, yeah, that might be the best route instead of telling her, "Oh, your house is gone," because in
Correct.
her mind she's on vacation. Then she's like, she can always go back home. And
Right.
then they be like, well, and then mom be like, when I'm gonna go back home, I'm gonna get back home. Well, you know what? We get some work done on the house. We had to get some stuff cleaned up and stuff like that, and just and then a few weeks later, be like, hey, we're not going back home. Okay, we'll go back home
Yep.
in a few weeks. And that's what you have to do instead of her living with the fact that that house is that house is family to her.
Yes.
So for her to, and I'm thinking in my brain, 50 years, you take that house away from her, that's like taking a family member.
Correct.
And you don't know how that's going to affect her emotionally and on a physical standpoint.
Correct.
So yeah, Granny need to go on vacation.
Yes. Okay, guys. Well, I will see you tomorrow. I'm going to send her this information and my cost to cure, and it is what it is at this point. Um, so I see you guys tomorrow on the same back channel, and have a
Kendra,
great
I'll have to
day.
call.
Knock it out the box.
Kendra, I'll have to call you after I'm done with my other call.
No problem. Okay.
All right, thanks
Have
guys.
a good
I
day.
gotta go. I gotta get busy.
Bye
Talk
bye.
to y'all later. Y'all have a great one.
You
Let's get
too.
it today.
Bye.
Bye bye.